Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Tarot by Cecelia on Patreon. This is your monthly tarot guidance for your sign for the month of October 2016. Yeah, finally it is October. So let's see what we have going on because, things have really shifted and you're in a whole new dimension here as you enter this month. Right on the 6th, Mercury leaves shadow. On the 7th, it moves on into Libra. It's been in your sign for quite some time. I'm thinking after all that overload of Virgo energy, even you will be happy to see it move on into something else, get something else going, right? On the 16th, there is a full moon in Aries. On the 18th, Venus enters Sagittarius. On the 22nd, now for most people, I'm feeling like this is good. Why I think, towards the end of the month, you're not too fond of that intense Scorpio energy. The sun will enter Scorpio on the 22nd. Then on the 24th, Mercury, which is now moving much faster, will move on into Scorpio. And on the 30th, there is a new moon in Scorpio. So I think the end of the month, can be intense for you. But intense in what way? Good? Bad? And let's talk about this for a minute. Because the first 9 months of the year were I think we'd all just like to forget them, right? So you had, for all that time, Jupiter in your sign. And then last month it moved on into Libra. But does that mean that Jupiter is done with you? No, not really. It's in your second house for the next 12 months. And what is going to happen is that all those things where you made all those contacts and all those things that you started in, the past 12 months, in the coming 12 months, you're going to start to see the payoff for, the relationships and the work that you put in. So indeed, this really is going to be another good year for you. But I think it's more starting now. So when I look at the cards, one of the things that I notice here, a lot of people, and, that sounds silly to say that way, but it is the truth. And I want to say seeking cooperation. There may be areas where certain relationships, because you got to remember, Jupiter in Libra this year is highlighting relationships. Okay, you're going to meet a lot of new people who will help bring in things that you need, as well as, you had all the people that you met last year when Jupiter was in your sign. So, interesting year coming up, but this month, you're really dealing with relationships. Perhaps even especially around the home, okay? There is a cycle that is shifting, okay? If there have been struggles within the home, around the family for the last few years, finally, let's close that out. Because I feel like there were people who just stood in the way and made things difficult. Whether their struggles were arguments or whether it was behavior, there was something going on. So you're ready. You are more than ready. Get past all of this crazy energy that we had for the first 9 months of the year. And you're like, you know what? I have a vision. I want to make the changes. I know what I want for my family. I know what I want for my home. And I know the things that I want to plan. And part of what I want to plan, if you're a Virgo who's capable of this, is going to be a destination. Okay? Like actual vacation. Something that's different. Okay, somewhere that you've never been before. There are some Virgos out there who are well-traveled. But this is something new and exciting that you're planning. And I almost want to say even a little more remote. That's interesting. Okay, but this vision, and I think your whole dynamic around people is changing. To me, this is positive. Okay, I think that there were some relationships which needed to change. okay? And your focus needs to be toward the security that you desire in your life, right? So if certain people were not a part of that, then the time did come to close the door. But you're defending your plans and your aspirations. So, this is good for you. Now, here you are again. There's so much about relationships. You know, when I say relationships, I don't always mean love. You have family, you have work, you have others that you come in contact with. And here you are. All right. I want this fresh new start. I want this vision to be my way. So what are you doing? You're definitely, I think you're a little bit concerned about it because maybe you don't know if it's going to work. Maybe you don't know if you can pull it off. There's something here. All right. But you're being asked to take a very practical, which I think is possible being a Virgo, okay, approach to what is necessary to do this. This requires bringing an absolute end to something. You know, feels like something that should have ended a long time ago. That's a little bit crazy, but it's true because it's bringing hard times. You know, when I say hard times, I mean things that lack in your life. What do you lack? Maybe you're lacking a really good relationship and you'd like love, but maybe you've been, you know, married, like still attached to someone. You could be separated for years, but maybe you never got the divorce. What's going on? Okay. So it's time for a new chapter. It's time for change. There's a little bit of a mixed bag here because I kind of feel like you didn't want to give all that up so easily. But why? All right. Whatever it is, it shows it didn't work. Okay, whatever the relationship was. Could have been a job, could have been a business, could have been a marriage, could be anything. But it's time. It's time to give it a break. It's time to let it go and to recover from the whole thing. Interesting. So has this already taken place and you're dealing with the emotions of it all? Because I see a lot of emotion here. And, you know, it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. But there is some form of betrayal around the whole thing. And in all honesty, I don't think you've been betrayed by an individual. I think it's more like for yourself, feeling cheated. Let's say you denied yourself something all this time, but didn't realize it because you thought by resisting it, you know, and fighting it, that you were a winner. Well, maybe not. Maybe not so much. Because when all is said and done, all that effort that was put into, you know, I want to say something negative. And all you did was lose time. See, one thing you don't get in the universe is do-overs. Okay. So it is important to learn that make the most of every moment and let go of what needs to be let go when it's time. Not drag it out forever and ever. So in order, you know, I think by ending this, like finally, like either it's done this month, whatever is happening, that's it. You take back control. Finally. I think you thought you were in control all along. But no. All right? Because you allowed yourself to be ruled by some I can't let this happen kind of thing. It's hard to explain. But, you know, so there's a lot of fulfillment to be had from this. And the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. You know, I'm almost, you know, I got to say this, I've been seeing this a lot. I want to say by the 10th of the month, all right, which here in the U.S. is Columbus Day, and in Canada it's Thanksgiving, all right? Being on your own It's a different sense of independence. You need to be patient with yourself and start balancing things out. But there is a better sense of what's yours. Like, you know what's yours. You know what you have. I like this. I do think this is better. But there's also in here, I think the need to learn, or hopefully you have learned, that need to be a more flexible individual. Whether it was just with one particular area or whatever it was that because I see that refusal to budge. Like, as far as a certain relationship went, you're like, no, I'm just going to keep at it. That fighting a fight that didn't need to be fought kind of thing. Why? Why? All right. So it's time to just let things become tranquil. Let things calm down. Turn your back on the chaos. Allow peace and harmony to enter in. This is a long time coming. It really feels that way for whatever reason. And that focus on security, like stability, I think it makes it easier when there's challenges, but I think there was a lot to be learned from the past. So there appears to be, especially when you get to that October 10th time frame, it doesn't have to be on that day, but there's a big clearing away, like transition, all right? You're entering a new phase, and I think this is a much better phase for you. Like I said, I feel like it's been a long time coming, but it's one that takes you to better relationship dynamics by the time you reach the solstice in June, which is important, all right? So being able to walk away, I think for everybody to walk away and say, okay, enough is enough. I don't know what's going on here, but it definitely is time. And work on that vacation plan, okay? So big decision coming up around the 10th. Very much feels that way. But I like it because I do think that your whole sense of being can improve this month, where you can become more carefree and be ready for a whole new adventure instead of clinging to whatever. I'm just like, the center of this reading is like, why? Why did you do that to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Go off, recover from it, and be ready. Because I think if you look around, what you're going to find is that there is this whole, I think there's a lot of new things. And maybe it's the best way I can put it. There might be things that you already do in your life, whether they're work related or whatever, but there's a lot of new things to tend to that can really pay off for you this year. It's like, I think that the universe, remember I said back in the beginning, with Jupiter and Libra in your second house, would very much like to reward you this year, seeing the payoff, but so much is karmic when I look around, all right? So what did you have to do? What did you have to let go of? I'm telling you, it's like you let go of something and then you get what you want. Only you know what that thing is. But when I look at this, so much of it has to do with relationships. Some of them you're finally working out how to make them work. Some you're merely letting go. There's a lot that's happening here. But like I said, I also feel like there is that destination. And that I like, okay? And it's not to say that, a lot of Virgos that I hear of, a lot of them like to travel. But there's I want to say also a change in finances. Look at this. By doing what it is you need to do, everything just starts to change. I find it totally amazing. And I'm telling you, when you get to the solstice in June, you have so much success. I'm not sure how to put this because for some of you may have, let's go with like which Virgo out there may have their own business, and use that as an example. Let's say that you haven't done a whole lot new on the business front in the last few years because other things kept cropping up, and you had whatever situation that you had just couldn't seem to let go. It's like you let go of that and you start really working on things. And, I want to say taking some chances, not risky chances, but taking chances to really make things work. Well, I think they work in a very, very big way for you if you can just pull yourself together. So if you're looking for, peer recognition, I have a friend who does, Toast of Music City in Tennessee, okay? And every year she wins. It's that type of thing. Everywhere you live, there is something that's, some places it's called the best of the best, whatever it's called. It's like that type of a thing where this coming year, once you say, okay, I'm just going to devote myself to making everything work, you can go out and you can create. So if this is business, you're going to be the one that everybody recognizes. Doesn't mean that your picture is up on every billboard in town, but it's that type of a thing. So this is a very good shift in energy for you. I like it a lot because I think there were just too many years for some of you, maybe not every Virgo out there, but some of you who, I'm trying to find the right words to put it into, but if there was a negative situation that you just kept propagating, you know what I'm saying? Keeping it going. Why? All right? Be done and move along. So if you've finished that up and as you're ending, heading into this month and you see what's happening, you're going to be like, all right then, now what do I want to create? Absolutely. You can create a lot. Don't focus on the loss anymore. Focus on putting everything back together. And I hope that for those of you who really did this to yourself, where it went on for a really long time, that it's not too late, that you have learned that lesson about your time. Like I said, there are no do-overs. So Virgo, I want to thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you here again next month. Take care.